Today, we are tackling a massive topic, Bitcoin. As many of you know, we're getting ready for a big move to El Salvador. They made history as the first country to recognize Bitcoin as a legal currency. So we wanted to share what we have learned so far in a way that's easy to understand.
If you've tried to learn about it, you've probably been hit with words like decentralized distributed ledger and immediately stopped listening.
Yeah, it gets complicated pretty fast. So today, we're going to ditch the jargon. We're going to explain how it works using a simple analogy that actually makes sense.
We'll cover what it is, how to keep it safe, and why you haven't missed the boat.
And don't worry, Bitcoin is actually a lot easier to understand than the US dollar.
First off, why do we even need Bitcoin? I already have digital money in my savings account.
That's a great question, Ben. But the money in your savings account is what we call fiat currency. That's money like the dollar, euro, or yen that is controlled by a government.
The problem with fiat is that governments can print as much of it as they want. When they print trillions more, the dollars in your savings account become worth less. That's inflation.
So, my savings are losing value?
Exactly. Bitcoin is different because it has a fixed supply, meaning there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoins. No government can print more. It's actually designed to be scarce, like digital gold. But unlike digital gold, you can't just find more of it all over the planet, or on other planets for that matter.
What's the difference between Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies?
Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency. The blockchain was built for Bitcoin.
All other cryptocurrencies are trying to mimic the success that Bitcoin had, though none of them have ever come close. And since they're all trying to copy the original, they're called altcoins or alternative coins.
Okay, but if there's no bank managing this, where does the Bitcoin actually live?
This is where people get confused. Bitcoin lives on the blockchain. To understand the blockchain, I want you to imagine a massive, indestructible bank vault in the middle of a town square.
But this isn't a normal vault. This vault is made entirely of glass.
Inside this glass vault, there are millions of safety deposit boxes. Because the boxes are transparent, anyone in the world can walk by and look inside.
Wait, everyone can see my money?
They can see the money, but they can't see who owns it. There are no names on the boxes, just numbers. So if you own one Bitcoin and you hold it in box number 42, everyone can see that box number 42 contains one Bitcoin. But nobody knows that box 42 belongs to Samuel.
This giant wall of transparent boxes is the blockchain. It's a public record of exactly how much money is in every single spot, and it's transparent, so you can't cheat the system.
Okay, so the blockchain is the glass vault. So what is a Bitcoin wallet? And is that where I can put my coins?
No, and this is the most important part to understand, there are no Bitcoins in your wallet.
The Bitcoins stay in the glass box of the vault. They never leave the blockchain.
So if the money stays in the box, what do you have in your wallet?
You have the key.
The key to the box?
Exactly. A Bitcoin wallet, like an app on your phone, is simply a digital keychain. It holds the unique, complex key that opens box number 42.
When you want to send Bitcoin, you aren't sending a file to someone. You're using your key to open your box, taking the Bitcoin out, and shoving it into someone else's box. And because the vault is glass, the whole world sees the money move from box 42 to, say, box 48.
Okay, but what if I lose my phone? Or if I drop my hardware wallet in a lake? Is my key gone forever? Is my money stuck in the glass box forever?
That would be terrifying. But luckily, there is a backup. When you first create your wallet, it gives you something called a seed phrase.
A seed phrase is usually a list of 12 or 24 random words, things like snorkel, apple, river, orbit, and so on.
Think of the seed phrase like a seed for a plant.
If you destroy your phone, you just buy a new one, download the wallet app, and type in those 12 words. The app uses that seed to regrow your key perfectly, and then you can open your box again.
But wait, if I give those 12 words to a stranger,
Then they have the seed and can grow a copy of your key, walk up to the glass vault, and empty your box.
That's why you never, ever share your seed phrase. Not with a support agent, not with a website, nobody.
Now that we understand the key, let's talk about 3 different ways to get exposure to Bitcoin.
We'll call them no keys, like ETFs, or stocks, like MicroStrategy. Shared keys, like buying on an exchange, and your keys, self custody.
Starting with the no key scenario, this is the most hands-off way. If you buy a stock like MicroStrategy or a Bitcoin ETF, you're buying a piece of a company or a fund that owns Bitcoin.
You can work with an investing professional to purchase stock in a company that invests in Bitcoin, and you get paid like you would with any other investment. But the company holds the real Bitcoin. You don't actually own the key to a box in the glass vault, which means you don't actually own any Bitcoin.
okay, so buying on an exchange. This is like buying Bitcoin on Coinbase or Robinhood, right?
Exactly. When you buy Bitcoin on a big exchange, you see the number in your account. It feels like you own it, but the exchange actually holds the master key for you. This requires less personal responsibility than self custody because if you lose your password, you can call them and they'll help you.
But here's the risk. If the exchange gets hacked, or if it goes bankrupt, or if the government asks them to freeze your account, you can't access your key. If you have spent any time learning about Bitcoin, you've probably heard the phrase, not your keys, not your coins. Just like in the no keys example earlier, in this scenario, the exchange holds the keys, so you don't actually own any Bitcoin with this method either. And now finally on to self-custody. So this is the way that you actually own your Bitcoin. You buy the Bitcoin on an exchange or from a person that you trust, and then you immediately send it to a wallet that you have the keys to. For example, a Sparrow wallet, a BitKey wallet, or an Aqua wallet.
In this scenario, you are the bank. You own the key. You have the seed phrase. Nobody can freeze it, and nobody can take it from you.
Wait, a bank can keep you from getting your own money?
Yes, they can. Sometimes the government can too. When I knew I wanted to marry Mom, I went to the bank to get cash out of my account so that I could buy her engagement ring. Instead of giving me the money that I had saved up for the ring out of my account, they told me that I couldn't have it.
So, Bitcoin self custody is the highest level of security and financial sovereignty, and it comes with the highest level of responsibility. It gives you full control of your money.
So if I wanted to take all of my money to pay for something, I could?
Yes, and it's up to you to keep it safe and spend it wisely.
Okay, I get how it works now. But honestly, Dad, looking at the price, didn't I miss the boat? It feels like I should have bought it 5 or 6 years ago.
Everyone feels that way. People thought they missed the boat when it was $100 per Bitcoin. And they thought the same thing when it was $1,000 per Bitcoin. And they thought the same thing when it was $50,000 per Bitcoin.
The reality is, we are still very early. Most of the world doesn't own any Bitcoin. Most people don't understand the glass vault concept that we just explained about how Bitcoin works.
We aren't looking to get rich by next Friday. This isn't a get rich quick scheme. It's an investment. We're looking at where this will be in 10 or 20 years.
So should everyone put all their money in Bitcoin?
Not necessarily. We followed Dave Ramsey's baby steps, which helped us get out of debt and become financially healthy. It's a proven method that has helped millions of other people become financially healthy too. Because of the principles we've learned there, we've decided for our family the wisest thing to do is treat Bitcoin like an investment, which means waiting until baby steps 4, 5, and 6 to put any money into Bitcoin.
If you're unfamiliar with the Ramsey baby steps, that basically means that you should first pay off all your consumer debt, like student loans, credit cards, or car payments, and then save a full emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses before you move on to any investing.
The price of Bitcoin can be pretty volatile. If you're struggling financially, you don't want to put all of your eggs in one basket, even Bitcoin. If it goes down in value and then you have an emergency like your heater going out in winter or your car breaking down on the side of the road, you may not be able to actually cover the emergency.
Now, before we go, we have to talk about safety. Because there's no bank manager at the glass vault, so there's no one to call if you get scammed.
So how do I keep from getting scammed?
Well, rule number one is if anyone online says, hey, send me 1 Bitcoin and I'll send you 2 back, it's always a scam. Always.
Rule number 2. As I have learned, you should never give anyone your seed phrase. Don't type them into a computer or take a picture of them. Write them down and secure them.
Rule number 3, start small. Learn with $20. Get comfortable moving it around to different boxes before you invest real savings.
If you're like us, you've spent nearly 40 years learning how regular money works in the fiat currency system. Bitcoin is a big shift. Even though it's easier than learning how fiat currency works, it still puts the responsibility on you, not the bank. But once you do understand Bitcoin, it's incredibly empowering.
We are still new on our journey into Bitcoin, so if we missed anything or you want us to go into more detail on a specific topic, let us know in the comments.
So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.